Hi YouTube, this is part 2 of Questions on the Go with my girl Cherry.
Okay, so the next question that I have for you may sound a little strange, but it's quite common, especially in these parts. So when a man dies, sometimes there are all these things that come out, stories, sometimes rumors are confirmed, sometimes just things that nobody had any idea about. Did you have or deal with anything of the sort, from maybe extra relationships with children on the side to even bad business deals and anything? Is there anything?
So with my late husband Anthony, there was absolutely nothing that anyone could have said that would surprise me about him. No, because like I said before, we lived together, we worked together, we went to church together, and Anthony was very much a family man.
Okay.
So if he wasn't working, which we were doing together, he'd be at home or would be doing something with the children or church related. I mean, he would even tell me if he stepped on an ant.
Wow.
I would call him if I hit my little toe.
Right.
So we knew absolutely
Everything.
99%
Okay.
about each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So with things like obviously a cell phone, you would have, what's the word, access to, personal stuff like his cell phone after passing. Were you tempted to go through messages like WhatsApp or social media, any of the things that women usually do if they lay their hands on?
Yeah, so I did have to go through Anthony's WhatsApp, all of his social media. I went through his social media, his phones, his emails, but that was in order to complete certain paperwork, which was of necessity. But up until now, I haven't felt the need to really go back through his phone, searching for what we sometimes like to search for. And to be honest, I don't have any reason to, didn't have any reason to before, and I wouldn't even want to go through his phone now with that idea in mind that I could possibly find something that he might have been up to, because I knew, like I say, 99% of every business deal that Anthony was involved in, every friendship, any dealings, any and everything that Anthony was up to. And it worked both ways. Anthony knew everything about me.
Right. So I guess the conclusion is that no surprises whatsoever.
No surprises at all.
So my next question is about the mourning clothes. Here, usually, when something like this happens, the widow is expected to wear black for a whole year. Was it the same for you? And what was that experience like?
So Anthony passed in January. By the first week of July that same year, I had a little ceremony in church.
Okay.
This was done by my pastor and very few friends and family to come out of the black clothes, which was, I think by then I had worn the black for about 6 months.
Yeah.
Yes. I did have questions. Where I was asked, why have you taken off the black so soon? why are you not wearing it for a year? I remember when the black came off, it was the first week of July. First week of July, and soon after that was my 40th birthday. So I wore white for my birthday, obviously in celebration of life, in celebration of how far God had brought me. As I said before, I was also very unwell the same time that Anthony caught COVID. I also had COVID.
Yeah.
And so being my 40th was such a great time to give thanks to God. And you know how in Ghana we celebrate with white. I wore white, and some months later I had a run-in with some family who said that I pretended to miss my husband, and so I wore the black, but I didn't wear it enough, you know, as if that was as if to say that if you wear it for a year, it shows that you really loved your person, or it shows that you miss him that much. But for me, what is not about the color that you wear. Today I'm in burgundy. I still miss Anthony so much. I still love him just as much. Yes, I wore the black for 6 months in respect of tradition. But after a while, the black also was taking its toll on my children, because every time they saw me in black, and they always say, "Oh, mommy again, mommy again," and that wasn't helping in their healing. Yes, even though they understood that daddy was not here anymore, they understood all of that, but seeing mommy in black every day in, day out, for them as well, that was a lot. That was a lot. So 6 months after he passed, I came out of the black.
Did you feel like the change of color had any impact on your mood? Like, did you feel a little bit lighter or merrier, or did it give you even a more positive outlook just by being out of the black clothes?
I don't think it changed my mood necessarily. It didn't. For my children, it did. It did, because they it was a bit much for them seeing me in black every single day. For me, I missed Anthony the same. I still loved him the same, and it's still the same today. Obviously, as time goes on, the days get that little bit easier to deal with. But black, red, blue, white, green, I still miss him. I still miss him. And I mean, I'm a person who, in the past, I love to wear black. I love black, gray. I love wearing dark colors. And so Anthony passed in January. In the December that year, when we did our New Year declarations, I had said that in 2021, I was changing all of my dark clothes and changing my wardrobe to white. So I was going to be wearing white of everything.
Wow.
And I was picking out white outfits, buying every white top or skirt I would see. And then, of course, that had to change, but only for a short while. But praise be to God, I'm here. I'm still here to try on all the colors I so wish to try.
Okay, this is almost a follow-up from that question, in terms of even dressing up, because it's almost like you're expected to look like you're in mourning. So getting your hair done, getting your nails done, having a little bit of makeup, wearing lipstick, having your lashes done, were any of those things, also almost controversial? Like, did you feel guilty for even trying to have a decent appearance? Because I've seen, people comment.
So, for me, it wasn't even a thing of feeling guilty, but I felt like, why am I even bothering to dress up? Because the person who would compliment me the most is not here. Who am I dressing up for? That and I had to make a quick decision.
Right.
When Anthony passed, I had to decide quickly that Anthony is not here, and with the way that our life was, with the kind of love that we had for each other, I was either going to sink very quickly or survive very quickly, and I had to make the decision for myself and for my children.
I like that.
And so
survive.
yes, and like I learned from my mom at a very young age, when I'm actually at my worst inside, I look my best on the outside. And so I make a conscious effort. I make a conscious effort to look well, the best that I can. Obviously, I not all the time. Sometimes I just don't even feel like dressing up at all. But most times I try to look my best. And then you will have maybe people say to you that, oh, you're okay because you look okay. And praise God. I praise God that I look okay, but I'm not always okay. Because inside there's a lot going on inside. But I've got two little people that look up to me and need me to be okay.
Okay, are there any things you're doing to make sure that you're well in terms of your mental wellness, emotional well-being, and just being the best self you could possibly be in this moment? I know some do therapy, some do, I don't know, support groups.
So I am.
Social media.
I love music.
Okay.
I love music. I love. Anthony and I used to. We've got so many dance videos together.
I see.
Yeah. We loved listening to music
To
and
watch them.
sometimes we would stay up all night just
Okay.
listening to all genres of music. So I still do. When I miss him, I'd play music, I'd dance with the girls as well. I did do therapy, a little bit of that. Just a little bit. The what do you call it? You got clinical. The clinical way.
Counseling.
That counseling, that kind of therapy, just for a little while. But for me, my therapy is actually living through it, going through it. Because even as you sit here, if you were my therapist, for me, and I keep stressing on the for me, because it works better going through the pain, going through the sadness and healing through it than having talked through it or being talked out of it.
Dealing with it.
Yes, because if I go through, let's say, Anthony's clothes or his pictures, and I cry, it's healing. It's healing. I'd rather not have you tell me that, oh, I mean, traditionally in no, I want to cry. I want to heal through it. I don't want to be talked out of it.
Right.
Yeah, because if in a space of a year or 2 years, I'm going through all of these little experiences. They're helping me grow.
Yeah.
I hope, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Does that make sense? I mean, not to say that therapy is not great. It's great for some people, and it might be great for me at a certain point.
Right.
But for the now, I'm appreciating going through it and healing through it.
Right.
And when we talked the last time, for my children, I'm able to handle their emotions because I also lost my mom when I was 9 or 10. And so I understand certain things that they go through, and they have the opportunity to talk to me. They're very open and illustrative. Isabel likes to draw her feelings out. Ruby likes to talk her feelings out. Yeah, and so we all heal in different ways. Yes, they have also had some form of counseling.
Okay.
Ultimately, the best counseling that I've had has been with my pastor, my apostle, who, has taught me to love God for myself, understand God's grace.
Right.
And there's no better therapy than the grace of God, which keeps us going
day after day. Okay, and how do you find your community in terms of family, friends, support, and their perspective of support? Because for some, in even telling you, oh, don't cry, or don't mourn too much, don't stay inside, come out, be yourself. It's a form of support for them. Others also would almost nudge you into staying in the protocol of things, like, oh, don't be seen here, oh, you're widowed, don't wear this, oh, don't do that. How was that for you? Did you have an even balance, or did you have more people supporting the more proactive agenda of moving forward healthily?
I mean, I must say that I've had more positivity around me than negative, or than the force to keep in the protocol of tradition. But I will also say that I have only allowed positivity around me.
Okay.
So if you're not good for me, I'm cutting you out.
Right.
If I feel that you bring what do we call it now, negative vibes, if you're bringing negative vibes my way, I have to cut you off.
Right.
Because I have to stay sane for myself and for my children.
Right.
So yes, I've had, I must say, I've had more positive than negative.
Right.
I ignore the negative.
Right.
I choose to ignore the negative, and I don't. My only protocol I stress on is the grace of God. That's the only protocol. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm just wondering, when the negative energy is coming from people that normally you're supposed to respect or give, certain precedence, how do you deal with that? Because I know, especially around here,
as in like as in the older people.
Yes, it could be like a pastor,
or friends,
even,
or past, or
family, in-laws, your own family, older relatives, people that you do respect, or some you're supposed to have respect for. It can be difficult to almost cut them off or go against that tangent. How did you make sure for your own wellness you were sticking to script, if I could say?
Yes. So I do try to be assertive where my sanity is concerned, where my happiness is concerned, where my children are concerned. Respectfully,
Yeah.
respectfully. But if I feel like you are trying to put your protocol ahead of my health, ahead of my sanity, ahead of my children, then I just have to cut you off.
Right.
Yeah, I've learned that, especially in this past year and a half, to just cut anything or anybody off who's not good for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
So I take constructive advice. Yes, I take it, but I also will cut you off if necessary. Yeah.
And how's that worked so far?
So far, so good. So far, so good. Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm thinking, other things you wish you could have done differently in your marriage if you knew how much time exactly you and him had. Because nobody envisions the end. You always feel like you have thousands of years with the people you love.
Anything I would have done differently, I would have loved on Anthony that little bit more. We would have spent even more time together than we already did in the 24 hours. I would have captured
More.
not just some moments, but I probably would have hired someone to follow us around and capture every moment, so that if let's say I've spent 1 year with him, it'll take me another year to
just go
watch
through
all of
that.
those videos and pictures. And yeah, he wasn't so keen at first when we met on the pictures and the videos, but when he realized my love for capturing memories, which is what I love to call it, he took over.
I see.
He took over. He took more. And so some of the memories, some of the videos and pictures that I share are stuff that he has taken on his phone.
I see.
Yeah, of the children, of us, of himself. Yeah. So I would live that life with him all over again. I would love on him extra and spend more time with him. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's good to hear. So there are no regrets in terms of, oh, I wish well, you have said indirectly that you, obviously, if you could, you would have taken more pictures and things like that. But are there negative things that you wish you didn't do? For example, someone can be very maybe confrontational or had anger management issues with their partner.
Oh, no. So if you ask me now, what Anthony was like when he was I know what he's like when he's upset, but angry, the only ever time that I saw Anthony angry was when someone close to him disrespected me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I saw him angry.
Right.
But even the times when I would push his buttons, he would be the one that would always say, oh, babe, it's okay. Oh, babe this or babe that,
Right.
And you know how, women, sometimes we like to push our man's buttons, sometimes. But he was so peaceful.
Okay.
So peaceful, so loving. I wouldn't change anything about him. I would probably change me. Yeah, change me and love on him more. Yeah.
Okay, so now about, let me call it social gatherings, like being in public and going out, seeing people, being invited to places. Is that different? Is it difficult? Is it awkward? Is it easy?
So going out isn't always easy.
Okay.
Isn't always easy because
We'll get into the whys after.
going out isn't always easy. even the effort to dress up and look good in the midst of, you know,
How you feel.
how I feel. But I am very selective about where I go. The same way I'm selective about the people that I allow in my space, I'm selective about the places where I go.
Right.
And so only places where I feel I'd be comfortable. Yeah, places that I feel wouldn't impact me negatively. I wouldn't go to a place out of necessity. I would go because I actually wanted to go.
Right.
Yeah. And even though I would miss Anthony, I would miss his company, I would also appreciate the fact that I'm still here. I'm still here to celebrate life for both of us.
Right.
You know, I imagine that he's there with me.
Right.
I imagine that we're having fun together, and sometimes even I remember in the same year that Anthony turned. Anthony would have. I still talk about him in the present sometimes.
Yeah.
The same year that Anthony would have turned 50, his cousin also turned 50, and that was initially it was hard for me. I almost didn't want to go.
Yeah.
But I dressed up.
Yeah.
You know, I made a real effort.
How long after his
Ooh, probably 11 months or 10 months after. Yes, I dressed up and I showed up.
Yeah.
And I danced in his memory.
I see.
Yeah.
And how was that?
Although I'm not a good dancer, he was the good dancer. He had all the moves. Yeah, and he would even get up and dance without you. But yeah, but that was hard initially, just deciding whether to go or not. But once I made an effort to go, I had a good time.
So do you find that it's easier to be around company that you both kept, or is it easier to be in new spaces where you're not known and not labeled as Anthony's partner, or you're not feeling his absence because these are spaces that he was familiar with? Is it easier?
No. I'm okay with both. I'm able to go to places that we were both familiar with. Company that we both kept. I'm also able to go out to new places where we both didn't, socialize in. So I'm happy to do both. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm doing that a lot more now.
I see.
Making an effort and going out. Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of, there's a little more serious a question. In terms of finances and supporting, especially considering you have 2 kids, was there a drastic or dramatic shift for you, being that most of the time the man is usually in charge of most of the major finances, even if not completely financing them himself? He, implements the structures and all of that. So how has that been for you? Were you involved enough that it was seamless to just pick up, or were you completely lost? Did somebody have to step in? How? What has that been like?
So financially, it's been tough.
Okay.
Especially as COVID hit everybody. It hits all businesses. It hits all families. So it's been tough, and being the single mother now, it's even tougher. And so of course we're not always able to do the things that we want to, the children and I. We're selective about where we can go, what we can do, and I'm working hard so that the children don't feel that void
Yeah.
of their father not being
Being
there,
around.
their earthly father not being there.
Right.
Yes.
So do you have things that you do to help you
Mhm.
now stay on track in terms of this new added responsibility? Or did you already, have certain things in place to make that transition
What do you mean,
easier?
like a side hustle or something?
That, in addition to even just if it's habits or practices or
Or in terms of cutting off?
no. In terms of now being the sole provider,
Mm-hmm.
have you had to maybe now look into investments or something?
Oh, I
or,
see what you mean. So yes.
Or were you already that type of person? Some people are really on top of things.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't on top of that. I wasn't on
Okay.
top of that at all. Now I save every
Okay.
penny.
Right.
Now I save every penny that I can. I invest
Mm-hmm.
when I can. And I've learned now that
Yeah.
even investing or saving 5 CDs is so
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
And I'm teaching the girls as well the importance of
Right.
saving, because I wasn't a saver
Right.
at all. I wasn't a big spender. I wasn't a spender at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't a saver also.
Either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But now I'm making wiser decisions
in terms of
where our finances are concerned.
Right.
Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary when you're by yourself, because there's you have school fees,
Mm-hmm.
you have
House
upkeep, your car,
maintenance.
children's maintenance. Yeah, it's scary,
It's a
but
lot.
I'm making wiser financial decisions. Yeah.
Okay. It sounds good. If it generally sounds like you're doing well.
My best.
Yeah, I would say the girls I've met and engaged. The good thing is there's nothing telling on them or you if
Amen.
I didn't know anything.
Amen.
Yeah. So I'm happy to have this chat and obviously get answers to some of these more detail-oriented questions, but it's also nice to know that what's on the surface is actually matched, inside, because especially in these times of mental health and also the need to appear good all the time, it's just crazy how it could be. So it's really nice to get your perspective on all these things.
Yeah.
So I think this brings me to my last question. Is there or are there things or states which I'd call like an ideal that you're still working towards? And it can be in the form of even a deeper level of wellness for yourself. It could be more healing for the girls. It could be even other relationships in the future, because I know if you're older and maybe you lose a spouse, there's almost no consideration of what next. It's practically like you manage till you're also no more. But when it happens so young, I can imagine that there's obviously still hope for life or continuity of some form. Nobody knows. So when you imagine or think about the ideal in terms of 3 years from now, in terms of 5 years, in terms of whatever the time, space looks like.
Are you asking me about like a relationship?
That too. But even beyond that, if even your ideal is not necessarily about a relationship, but more about a state of happiness or joy that you're yet to reach, and maybe it's even in fulfillment of some other dreams, things that you never did, even when Anthony was here.
So as I've mentioned to you before, Anthony and I run our property business together.
Yeah.
And I feel so fulfilled even now that a year and a half on after his passing, I have kept the company name going,
Right.
and I've kept that machine running,
Right.
because Anthony was so passionate about that,
About it.
and he got me passionate about it. And even though it wasn't what property was very far from anything, from what
What you were doing.
what I was doing or enjoyed doing, but he taught me so much that I fell in love
Right.
with all things property. And so for me, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I want to still be running the business as I
Right.
am now, and seeing what God has in store for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that answers the serious
Yeah.
part. So
Yeah.
in terms of prospects, other relationships, what does that look like to you? Is it like a door you're completely unwilling to open, or are you receptive but not looking, or are you, what is your
I am
take?
I am receptive. I am
Okay.
receptive. I'm not looking.
Yeah.
I'm not looking, but I am receptive, and I know that somewhere in the future, God has a Boaz for me.
Yeah.
I
Amen.
I also know that, sometimes I get the comments like, oh, you will never find anybody like Anthony again. And I know, because Anthony was the most amazing man.
Yeah.
The most amazing man, the most amazing father and husband. But I also believe that God gave me Anthony as to show me the type of man that I am worthy of, the type of husband that I'm worthy of. And I know that God will not underdo himself.
Right.
He will outdo himself.
Yeah.
And so I trust that fully and
Yeah.
completely. And I know that whoever God brings into my life in the future would accept the fact that this great man was in my life and my children's life.
Yeah.
And he was worthy of the love that I showed him, and that love, same love, which of course is God that bestows that love on me, is
Yeah.
transferable to a next person.
Right.
Absolutely. Does that make sense?
It does. It
Yeah.
does. I'm just thinking because it's a different perspective than.
And
You
Anthony
hear.
would be, we always used to, not always, but we talked about
Really.
stuff like this. And I always used to say to him that if I'm the first one to go, and you
Get
bring
into anything.
you get into anything, even 100 years after, I'll haunt you.
Oh, God.
And he always says to me that if I'm the first to go, I hope you find a man who would love you and love the children. Yeah, we had very
Wow.
honest and open
I see.
conversations.
That's comforting.
Yes,
as well.
and so if and when I do get into a relationship, I know I have an angel up there who's,
Yeah.
watching and
silently
interceding
rooting.
on our behalf. And I know that Anthony would be very happy to see the girls and I
Right.
happy. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that is amazing, and I hope the same for you guys as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that ends part 2.
Oh no, it was a Terry.